everyone, this is Casual Talk here. As 2023 is coming to a close, I just thought about doing this video to share with all of you. Many of you are probably living with a relative, living with a roommate, living in a tiny apartment, or renting a room. Ask yourself this: do you enjoy living in a small space, or continuing to rent out, or would you rather own a property, own a home where once it's paid off, you have a lot saved in your pockets? There is a breathtaking thing about being a homeowner. There's homeowners today that are renting out their homes or flipping it to where they buy the home, they wait 10, 20 years, and then they resell it to the market for double the price than what they originally bought the home off of. Like, someone could buy a home that's worth $350,000. They pay it off, they have it for a few years, and they keep up with the maintenance and everything. They probably did some customizations to the home, right? Depending on the case, there's just some people that they would prefer doing something like that. Like, for instance, they would prefer owning the home for a short period of time once it's paid off. And I don't know if there's cases, I'm pretty sure there's cases where people, instead of paying off the home in full, they would resell it to the market to not continue to pay for the mortgage. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure there are cases like this, okay? And as I was saying, had to fix my mic. Not my mic, but I had to fix my map so I don't get thrown off from the GPS. But as I was saying, one of my main goals is to be a future homeowner. I understand the value in owning your own home, owning property, and just having the space that you want. You're at peace. You don't gotta worry about neighbors banging on your wall. You don't gotta worry about something happening to the building. You don't have to worry about, in many cases, cockroaches or anything like that, right? Depending on where you live. There's a lot of benefits to being a homeowner. And I encourage a lot of young people to go for that the moment they have the money and they have their career set. You could save a lot of money once you pay the home off. You don't have to go for anything extravagant, but start off with a starter home. And if you decide to settle down in that starter home, you could save a lot of money, especially if you have good credit. The better your credit is, the lower the interest payments are. This is for anything that requires a credit check or requires credit verification. Having good credit is important, but also having a stable career is also important, and it looks good, because a lot of realtors and the bank, they're looking for people with a stable track record of a career, of work, where you're bringing in a lot of money and you have really good credit. They're going to take you seriously. And they're going to look at your expenses and judge based off like, okay, this person looked like they could afford this house. They're making X, Y, and Z every year. You could afford it, sign yourself up, There's cases where you may have to borrow money from the bank. That's where your credit comes in. You have good credit, the bank is going to trust you with even more money. They're not going to have to hold anything as a... They don't have to hold anything against you where... I don't know the right word for it. But there's cases where if your credit is bad, even when it comes down to a loan, they may ask for your car as a liability in case you can't pay off the loan. They're subject to take ownership of your car. Okay? I forgot the word for that, but there's a word for that. Okay? So, if anyone wants to comment down below in the comments of this video, just let me know what that word is. I forgot. It's basically a term where you have bad credit and you want them to give you a chance. They're like, okay, we'll give you this loan, but you have to give us something in return, just in case if you're not able to pay the loan off. And if you're able to pay the loan off, we'll remove the limitations and we'll let you have the ownership fully of your car or your house, depending on the case. You basically have to give them something in exchange of your bad credit and bad credit history, because all good credit is not good credit. You may have a high credit score, or your credit history, over the delinquencies and amount of debt that you owe, it does matter. Okay? This is why I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I messed up my credit score, and I'm understanding and learning this. Do I have a plan to fix it? Yes, I do. I have a plan to fix my credit, and I want to aim to become a future homeowner because there's a lot of benefits behind it. I'm more at peace. I own more space. More land is in my name. I'm more to myself, and I'm currently renting out a single family home, and I say to myself many times, if this was my house, I would be happy. I don't gotta worry about nagging neighbors. I don't have to worry about people in my business. I don't gotta worry about so many things. I don't gotta worry about having to depend on the landlord for a lot. I'd rather be a future homeowner because there's a lot of benefits behind it. Sure, you have to mow your own lawn. Sure, there's a lot more maintenance and stuff to do. But you also are at fault of any of the damages and stuff, etc., depending on the house, okay? And depending on what's under the house. And I encourage anyone to get home insurance. Home insurance saves your pockets from loss or damages or anything like that that could occur. Because having insurance under a home, you're protected at a small portion or small price, depending on the property, the state that you're paying a mortgage on for the home, etc. Okay? Excuse me. Sorry about that. But there's a lot of benefits. I'm going to link and pin in the comment section. Sorry guys. I'm going to link and pin in the comment section down below on helpful links and tips that will convince anybody to be a homeowner. There's just a lot of benefits. Too many people are going for small apartments. I understand you can't afford a home yet. That is like a starter home. But it's not actually your home, because there could be a case where the landlord may want to increase the rent, and it may hurt your pockets and expensive, right? This is why I encourage people to have a stable career, okay? And have good credit. You do not want to be stuck to where you're in a situation where you are forced to move out or get kicked out of your apartment because the landlord one-upped you due to the housing market or the job market, the market of apartments. Okay? Your rent could be $2,000 and they increase it to $3,000 next month, and you're just by yourself. You're on your own. You're doing a 9-to-5 job and doing Uber on the side. Now you have to do your 9-to-5 job, Uber, DoorDash, and you have to have an extra job. You have to have 3 jobs and have to keep up with your rent. Who wants to kill themselves doing all that? I don't encourage anyone to do that because it's not fun having multiple jobs and you barely have any time to yourself to enjoy life. That is crazy to me. You do not want to do that. You do not want to live like that. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. I'd rather have one set career where I'm making a lot of money. I go home, I have a lot of free time in my hands. I'm not burnt out. I'm not trying to keep up with the rent. And like I was saying earlier, it's crazy to me how there's a lot of young people, young adults that are very naive and blind. They're ignorant. They don't want to listen. They're very stubborn. It's all about me, 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 me. I don't want to listen to you. You get hit with, oh crap, the rent increased by $500, $1,000. I can't afford this. I can't afford it. What do you think the landlord is going to do? They're going to kick you out, or they're going to give you eviction notice. Now you're forced to move out. You're on the streets. Do you want to live like that? Because if you're a homeowner, you have more rights. The bank may own the home until you pay off the loan and the mortgage. Okay? And you're good to go. You're free. The only thing you got to worry about is electricity, utilities, etc. Other than the home, you own the home. You don't have to worry about rent. A mortgage is different from rent, because renting, you have to keep paying that rent, and the landlord can increase the rent at any time depending on the market. There's some landlords who are cool, and there's some landlords who are very greedy and dirty. When it comes down to a mortgage, you may be expected to pay that same mortgage price, and there's such thing as a set mortgage price. You're obligated to pay that mortgage. 10 years down the line, the mortgage is not going to change, because the mortgage and how much you pay on the mortgage all depends on your credit score and your interest payments. Like I said, the better your credit is, the lower your interest is. Okay, that comes down to car payments, etc. Okay, your car payments is like a mortgage. It's different from renting. Renting a car doesn't have benefits because you don't own it. You have to return it at some point, just like the apartment that you're living in. When it comes down to a home, you're paying it off. That's like a car. You pay off the car is yours. You pay off a home, you pay off the home is yours. So there's a lot of benefits to being a homeowner. There's a lot of benefits. And if you want to sell it in the future to rent it out, right, you could do that too. Because there are renting companies where they may buy the home off of you, and you get a cut in a portion of the people that's renting the home off of your name. You own the home now, but you don't live there. You may have multiple homes that you're renting out, and you get a cut from the business that the home is now under. They're renting off of that business's name, while you're the homeowner that's also getting a portion from the business. And that cut is basically from the people that's renting the home off of your name. Okay? I'm pretty sure you guys should understand where I'm coming from, but you can always do your research with a click of a button. It's called Google. The start of the video is to show you the home that I'm renting in. Okay? That's the home that I'm currently renting out. I don't own the home, but this is the reason why it is important to be a future homeowner. If you want to do apartments fine. There's a lot of pros to a lot of people when it comes down to apartments, but there's a lot of cons. And I believe all the pros for being a homeowner always is going to outweigh the cons, because guess what? I could save a lot more money in my pocket once I pay the home off. Especially if I got good credit and the interest rates are very low. I'm good. I encourage anyone to become a future homeowner. Trust me, there's a lot of benefits financially, long term. And do I plan on renting out the house that I want to get in the future? No. The very first home that I'm going to want to own, I'm going to want to pay it off. And my goal is to pay it off. So in the future, if I decide to get another one and pay off that home as well, before I die, I want to make sure my children are set to have their home, those homes under their name. So that way they could understand the value and having a home of their own. They don't have to worry about struggling, going through apartments, having to worry about their lease getting cut, getting kicked out of the building. They don't have to worry about none of that. And if something was to happen to the house, guess what? Insurance is going to cover for them. You know what home insurance does when something happens to the home? You get paid the value and the worth of the home at the time the home was damaged. Especially if you're robbed, the home insurance covers for a lot. When it comes down to apartments, I don't know how it works. Apartments, you could get your security deposit back, but you're not going to get much out of it because you don't own that apartment. A condo is a different case. It's like an apartment, but it's not. It's just like a miniature home. You have neighbors and stuff, right? But it's almost like an apartment / house, okay? All I'm saying in the end of the day is that there's a lot of benefits onto being a homeowner. There's a lot of benefits being a homeowner. One of my previous comments from one of my previous videos on YouTube, where I spoke about giving a reality check to those that want to move into a major city, there was a commenter that brought up his experience being a homeowner and everything, and I applaud him for that. I go and understand, and not that I go for it, right? I applaud anyone that pushes to become a homeowner. There was a lot of cases, and there was one case a long time ago where there was a woman who was forced to move back with her son in his house because she's been living in an apartment for over, I don't know how many years she's been living in an apartment. She was forced to get kicked out of the apartment because the apartment building had to be taken down. I don't know what it was for. I guess the city bought the apartment building and they want to make it into a business or something like that. That's one of the consequences and things that can happen with apartment buildings. This is why a lot of people shouldn't be too comfortable staying in an apartment for the rest of their lives. I understand the home market is very expensive. I understand a lot of people is not going to be able to have a career. But it is possible, depending on where you live and where you go, to be a homeowner with a 9-to-5 job. As long as you show the bank that you have stability, you have really good credit, you have something to save, something to fall back on, right? They are going to trust you. From my experience, leasing out cars and getting cars under my name and talking to other people who are homeowners, right? I got the gist and the idea of what it's like to become a homeowner. I understand the game, and I know how it's like, and I understand to get an idea on how the home market is. Certain people makes the mistakes in going for big homes, luxury homes. So of course, if you don't pay off the mortgage, you're responsible, right? you're held responsible on why the home and the mortgage is not paid off. So if you can't afford the mortgage payments, what's going to happen? The banks may take the home back from you, and you may be forced to get kicked out or move out of the home. And that's not fun. That's why I encourage people to get a career or a trade job that pays very well. Pay off the house as quick as possible so it could be under your name. And if you decide to just settle down in that house, go for it. I encourage it. I really do. Okay? I really do. Because you know why? I want to be a future homeowner too. There's a lot of benefits behind it. You can save more money in your pocket long term once you pay off the home. And a lot of things is under your name. You don't got to worry about a lot of neighbors. And there's not much of a liability towards you like there is in an apartment. Okay? There's no security deposits. The rent is increasing. You don't gotta worry about none of that. You don't gotta worry about noisy, nagging neighbors. You're in control. You're more in control because it's under you. You could do what you want as long as you're not going against HOA policies, because HOA is another case that depends on the state that you live in and where you decide to buy your home from, depending on the property where the home is at. Okay? This is Casual Talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.